Welcome to Lies of the Orange Era. I am your host, Ernie. Tariffs get talked about like they're some tough, patriotic flex. We're taxing foreign companies. But in reality, tariffs aren't paid by China or Mexico or anyone overseas. They're paid here. They're a tax on imports, and when prices rise at the border, companies pass those costs along straight to the shelves and straight to you. That's not opinion. That's economics 101. Walmart buys a lot of goods from overseas. So when tariffs go up, their costs go up. And unless they want to lose money, prices follow. So Trump telling Walmart to just eat the tariffs is like setting your kitchen on fire and then telling your smoke alarm to be quiet. This isn't just dumb. It's reckless. It ignores how businesses work, how pricing works, and how fragile millions of budgets are, especially when inflation is already high. Walmart just is not some greedy corporation. It's a private employer with roughly 1.6 million jobs in the US alone. They serve everyone, especially working families. So when the president publicly demands that they take the hit without a plan, a policy, or a clue, he's not just picking a fight with the company. He's gambling with the cost of living for millions of Americans. Remember when Republicans said they wanted less government? They ran entire campaigns on it. No more big government. Let the market decide. But now that Trump's back in charge, apparently that only applies to billionaires and crypto bros. Because while the crypto industry gets to operate like the Wild West, Walmart, which actually serves middle-class Americans, gets threatening for adjusting prices. Not even raising them, just acknowledging that they might need to. So if you're pumping Dogecoin, you're a visionary. If you're selling toothpaste at scale, you're suddenly a national threat. That's not capitalism. That's a double standard built on populist theater. You get freedom if you're wealthy, you get orders if you're useful. Walmart didn't write the tariff policy. They're just the ones who have to respond to it. And when they do, Trump doesn't propose a solution. He just barks orders from a golf course. I'll be watching, and so will your customers. That's what he said. Not a president speaking, a man using his office to warn a business, not for breaking the law, but for just stating a financial fact. And the most bizarre part, it's being cheered by people who still think they're fighting government overreach. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Walmart actually did what Trump demanded. They eat the tariffs, absorb the costs, keep prices flat. What happens? They can't keep that up forever. Margins shrink, budgets get tighter, and somewhere something breaks. Jobs get cut. Stock drops. Prices creep up in other categories just to compensate. That $4 box of cereal you like, it's now $5.29. But hey, the toothpaste didn't go up. And if Walmart falters, that doesn't just hit their stores. It kind of reshapes the entire market. They're essentially the anchor keeping 100 other stores honest. Take them out of the equation or weaken them, and the rest of the market gets more expensive, fast. Competitors don't lower prices out of generosity. They do it because Walmart forces them to. And here's the biggest risk. Once the government starts telling companies what to charge, is it really a free market anymore? It's not a suggestion. It's essentially setting a precedent. Today, it's eat the tariffs. Tomorrow, it's run the business how I say or else. If they can pressure Walmart, the biggest retailer in the country, they can pressure anyone, including you. And if they can dictate prices, what else do you think they're going to dictate? And this isn't even about Walmart. It's about whether the President of the United States can command private companies to obey him like they work for the state. Eat the tariffs. That's not a policy. That is a warning shot. We're watching the definition of capitalism being rewritten in real time. not with legislation, not with public debate, but with a Truth Social post and a veiled threat. I'll be watching, and so will your customers. If they take it seriously, that's not a joke. That's the President of the United States using his office to publicly intimidate a private employer. And let's be real, Walmart may be able to handle it. They got size, leverage, lawyers, but what about the next guy? What happens when it's a local grocer or a union-run shipping company or an independent press? What happens when the president starts calling out Greg's Hardware in Tulsa because they didn't lower the prices on duct tape fast enough? What happens when he is live tweeting bakery markups like $7 for sourdough, un-American? And then next week, he's regulating lemonade stands and demanding price rollbacks on, everything. If that sounds ridiculous, it is. But the principle is already in play. Dictating price behavior from the top, punishing disobedience, rewarding those who fall in line. If the government can dictate who eats the costs, it's not going to stop the tariffs. It becomes a system where obedience gets rewarded and resistance gets punished. That's not a market. That's a mechanism for control. And it starts with this: a tweet, a demand, a shrug, and everyone looking away because it's just Trump being Trump. But if Trump being Trump comes with price controls and loyalty tests, you might want to check the label, because that's not made in America anymore. If this episode made you pause, good. That means it worked. Subscribe to the Lies of the Orange Era, share us, and help us document every quiet step toward control before this stops becoming the exception and becomes the system.